This is the last day of the trip.
Oh,
Last full day.
that's
We
cool.
thought we would gather around and recap some of our moments so we wouldn't forget them so easily because
Yes.
some of our memories are not the best.
Well,
So today is March 14th.
Hi day.
We had some traditional Thai pie or pie peanut butter jelly sandwiches for lunch. Not
donuts
really.
for breakfast.
Yeah, not really.
Pie donuts. Pie donuts.
Okay, so the first day we had a pretty good day because we flew into Vegas and then we did Valley Fire State Park, which we had a pretty cool, what is that called? Rainbow.
Rainbow.
Yeah,
And the fiery sunset.
that was cool.
Yeah.
Did you guys like Valley of Fire?
I was surprisingly, yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And I think that helped, though. That was a
That was
really
really cool.
cool thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't raining.
Yeah, it wasn't
Okay.
raining.
So we did have a rainbow. It wasn't raining.
Right.
Didn't rain south.
However, somebody had to drive in the dark the rest of the night.
Yeah.
We
We all
met-
just kind of sat there.
I'm sure we missed a lot of good scenery.
Yeah, I think we probably did, but at least.
Oh, bless you.
Can you edit that out?
There's no point. I knew it was coming. Let me find it for a minute.
He found the Kleenex. I think we got
Thank
it.
goodness. So next day we did Zion National Park.
Yep.
What did you guys think of Zion?
It's pretty.
We all experienced some snow. We kind of went in two different groups.
We did rainbow, or not rainbow, but
Waterfalls.
waterfalls
With the Weeping Rock.
with the Weeping Rock.
That was
And then you guys went to Emerald Pool.
Mm-hmm. Lower Emerald Pool,
Uh-huh.
that
Because
was very
the
nice.
one Becky wanted to go to, Upper Emerald Pool, was closed.
Was.
And I saw the first wildlife.
Yes, it was good.
What was it?
Those deer.
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 Okay, that's
Man.
right.
By the van.
I didn't know if it was going to be the cows.
No.
Oh, very important thing. We rented a minivan.
So cool.
Yes.
Worked well.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Becky and I went on a hike called Angel's Landing.
hmm
It was very fun.
That was really neat.
It was very pretty.
Hailed on us.
It was part fun.
Yeah, and we lucked out because that was the last day before the shuttle started running. So we had a lot more independence doing that.
Yeah.
That was good.
Drive the car. Yep.
Yeah.
And I learned my gloves, which was a good thing
Yeah.
because
People had bloody knuckles. That was a
bloody knuckles.
That way I didn't have to focus on that and just not fall.
There you go. It's a good.
Okay. So then next day was the day of the race, and then Antelope Canyon.
Well, we got to talk a little more about the race.
Yeah. That was hard. That was really hard.
Second hardest thing she's ever done.
Physically, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to say about that.
Well, from our point of view, we made some signs and we held them up for racers. The kind of the weird thing is on the information packet it said this race is not spectator friendly. It didn't say if you want to watch go to this point or this point. So there was nobody cheering anybody on. So people were really happy to see us four cheering people on because that was it. And then we would go.
And there were hundreds of people.
Yeah.
running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd meet them at like 6 miles and go up to 8 miles and then cheer again and then go to 10 and something like that. And we'd see the same group because they're kind of running in your pack, a couple minutes in front and a couple behind. It was kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It wasn't nearly as hard for us, I think, as it was.
I'm pretty sure not.
No, we had it easy.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was
I think
fun.
that race was fun.
Me and Gloria were giving out high fives.
Yeah.
Just having a good time.
We're holding signs. You can do it.
Yeah. We clap for them when they come by
Only people with signs.
and give them encouragement. Yeah, we were the only ones with signs that we know of.
I know.
That's what they, a lot of them said that.
Yeah.
We didn't see anybody.
I even had a runner stop and take my hand.
And they thank us for coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Never had that.
Never had that.
No.
Man.
Part of the race.
Yeah.
So that was the race. You finished.
That's what I was gonna do, and so I did.
What
Completed your goal.
So it was hard. What was hard about it? Why was it hard?
Oh, talk
Sandy
about the
condition.
sand.
Sandy, up and down.
Hills.
The deep sand, not just sand, it was deep, and so your foot would push and you barely moved, even though your foot was pushing all the way. And then the hill that was never ending. I saw you guys up there and I just couldn't go any faster. And so my calves were just, what's the word for all used up?
Depleted.
Depleted at mile 2.
That's where the big hill was.
And Becky fell.
And I fell, and then I cried. I don't know why it was so hard because I knew it was going to be hard. So, I don't know.
And
There
then
was
you
the,
made
also-
it.
Yeah. Thank you.
There's also
23rd.
out of a lot more pages than that.
64 pages?
Something like that.
But you
But-
finished.
That's right.
That's the important
I
part.
said a lot of it was single file. you know,
Yeah.
So it was hard to
Oh
take
yeah,
it
that
with
was
a
hard
break and
because
everything.
I felt like I had to go faster than I could do. And I still did it because I didn't want to make everybody else walk. And you could tell other people were doing that too. And so I had given a lot by mile 5, and that's when I tripped. And not because I don't know what I was doing at mile 5. I don't know if I was zoning out or,
I
but
said
yeah.
you just were on the ground. You just
Yeah,
were
And
yeah.
back.
and my cheek was on a rock.
Yeah.
And these people were like, "Oh man, so it must have looked terrible."
Your shoulder was scraped up, and
Yeah.
your knee was.
My
a
knee
little
hurt,
bit-
but only the day of the race, so that was good.
That was the morning.
Yeah, that was the
We need to back up to the night before dinner.
Oh yeah.
We went to an Italian restaurant.
Oh,
Carving up. 40-minute wait to get a table.
was that?
That's what they
That
said.
was to get the table. That was outside.
That's
Yeah,
just to
we
get
went
the-
shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the dollar store, but yeah, shopping.
And then it took forever to get our meal.
At least we had rolls. We would have been
Yeah.
sitting there starving.
Yeah, they had rolls.
Do not recommend the place.
What was the name of it?
Bonkers.
Bonkers. We went to Bonkers.
Yeah,
Bonkers
good
decision.
My chicken parm was good, but maybe I was the only one that had
It wasn't. The food wasn't bad. It just took forever.
It just
They were
wasn't
overwhelmed
worth
with
it.
people from the race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody was there.
It kind of
Doing the
killed the
same
whole
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, so then we did the race.
And then antelope.
Then, well, we went and showered, cleaned up.
Yes, that's
One
right.
of the
We
things-
didn't.
Yeah.
For
And then-
for all of you, I did.
And then probably the most surprising thing for me
Oh boy, here we
was
go.
Antelope
Yeah.
Canyon.
Oh, it was stunning.
I had no idea what to expect, and that was just extraordinary. And it was very, very pretty, and we really liked our guide, Tony, even though he kind of stretched the stories. But he was very entertaining and taught us a lot about our cameras.
Yeah, that was nice.
And so, but it was beautiful. I'd recommend that.
Yeah.
In fact, I recommended it to a lady from South Carolina today.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that would be.
I even showed her some pictures.
There
Oh
you go.
good.
So what did you like about it?
It was so unique.
Yeah.
It's just nothing, you see these little bitty cavern things, and you have no idea that all that's beauty is
Yeah.
underneath.
Like when we came, you had a cool picture. It was coming out of the. It was
Yes.
coming out of kind of a crack in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But inside of it was a lot of different color and
Wave.
formation.
movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a big one.
And you have to be a tour guide has to be a Navy.
That's right. A Navajo.
Navajo.
Right.
And
It's on their property, so.
yeah.
Yeah, or it would definitely be a national park otherwise.
I think so too.
And probably more crowded if it would get more attention if it was a national park.
But it was kind of fun that we had 10 in our group, 10 or 12,
Yeah,
and they take you down by groups, and
that was nice.
it was nice because you could focus on your tour guide, and he didn't explain a lot of things. And
He would just take our phones and take pictures with them.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I saw Jimmy just handing it to him the whole time.
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
You
learned
knew
a
what
lot.
he was looking at,
It
so.
wasn't,
Yeah.
and it wasn't super hard. It was longer. I figured it would be in the canyon for like 10 minutes.
I know
And
that.
be over.
that's
It's really pretty. We were in there for like 45 minutes, almost an hour or something. It was long.
Uh-huh.
From what I thought.
Yeah, it was longer than
like-
I thought it would be.
So it was kind of nice. Really quick. Antelope Canyon.
Right. I can't remember what we did after that.
Horseshoe Bend.
We went over to Horseshoe Bend.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
That was really pretty.
We didn't kill a little time in there, I don't remember what we did.
We had,
The
oh, and
dam.
it did,
We saw the dam.
Oh, that's right. We went to an overlook. Or something, right?
No, you guys got it
We
backwards.
drove.
Yeah,
okay,
we
we're
did the
backwards.
overlook before we went to,
Because we waited till as soon as the parking closed at 5 to zoom in.
yeah.
You're right. That's
Oh,
what we did
yeah.
after.
it was mandatory to use a shuttle
Oh,
until
that's right, that's
5.
the
It
overlook.
was like
Yeah.
4:45.
We lucked out on some timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were one of the first cars in the parking lot because we came
Yeah.
from another direction.
And then it fills up.
It feels fast.
So, but at Horseshoe Bend, which was amazing, I think Gloria and Mary had a different interesting time with.
Well, we didn't go to the end.
No,
Could you see it from where you were?
yes.
You can see
Well,
parts of it.
most-
We couldn't see down into it,
Yeah.
which was the vision you were
Mhm.
after. But,
Unfortunately for me, after doing Antelope Canyon and coming up out of that last bit of stairs, my knee was shot
It was
where
done hard.
I wished I could have gone down the
Well, you
Horseshoe.
probably could have made it, that you paid the
But
price.
Yeah.
Yeah, and could you do the next day? So,
It's
Yeah.
all right.
And it was early, still a little early in the vacation, you know,
Yeah.
when-
right.
But while you guys went down and saw the beautiful views, I sat on a patio watching Mary pick up broken glass and put it into a plastic bottle. And then we saw this Indian, who wasn't an American Indian, it was from India.
Yeah.
Didn't understand English.
Older guy, right?
Really, yeah, he was quite older, and I sat there and watched him. I wished I'd filmed it. Watched him watch Mary. And he'd watch her pick up the glass and put it in the jar. Pick up a piece of glass, and then the next thing I know, he's bending over, got a piece of glass and put it in the jar. And then his wife got up off of the slab and took him down,
On they went.
on they went. And so, but that was fun. Just sitting there visiting with Mary and had a good time.
The Horseshoe Bend was beautiful.
Yeah, it was really neat.
There were a lot of gnats down there. That was kind of
There
surprising.
was a lot of mess.
Just, that's what it was.
So next day, Sunday, we got up early enough to do the kayak tour.
I cooked an amazing breakfast.
He did. He did.
Oh yeah,
It was okay. Ham and egg.
that's good.
Burritos.
It was good.
Breakfast burritos.
We
Yeah.
needed that for our 6
Miles.
miles.
Kayaking.
Kayaking. It's the first time JB and I have ever been kayaking.
Couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Oh, Mary.
Couldn't tell.
So JB and I was in one kayak, Byron and Mary was in another one, and
Becky was
It
solo.
was my lonesome.
Becky, who ran the 13.6 miles the day before, got a kayak all by
That's
herself.
right, 13.6.
Up and running.
So,
And we all immediately sat down these kayaks. Like, I looked at, it's mostly dry, a little damp. And they're made, they have a holes on the bottom. That water comes to a certain level inside the kayak. So we're all like sitting in water.
yeah.
We were worried about our shoes, that wasn't all we should have worried about.
Oh,
Pants
our
were
jeans
soaked.
were soaked.
So,
Soaked.
So
Our underwear was soaked under that.
And then we had to
We were
walk up
tired.
this incline that's usually
Forever.
a boat ramp.
Yeah, but it,
It was
Quarter mile
huge.
incline.
yeah.
It was big.
And probably one of the most funniest moments is when 3 of us changed clothes out in the parking lot. Didn't care, we didn't figure we knew anybody. But
Well-
we did meet some people who ran the day before and said, hey, you're the high fivers. And they remembered us, and there was only, how many in our group? 12 maybe?
Yeah, maybe
12,
14.
14?
Yeah.
So the parking lot was not full of people.
No.
No.
That's, yeah.
That's why we changed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
Yeah.
there were about 5 cars spread out.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was, the kayaking was a new experience for me. And I really, really enjoyed it. I wish we could have gone at a slower pace.
Yes,
just to
me too.
enjoy the scenery a little bit more, but the scenery really didn't change much.
No.
You know, I could have went out to a certain area, maybe
Agreed.
about halfway or whatever. And
We
just
could have
kinda-
gone 3 miles and got, to me, the same viewpoint basically and had a better time.
Rock walls.
Yeah.
With no, I mean, we didn't get at a point where we saw wildlife. We didn't get to a point where something changed in the rock. There's no point in us going that far, other than if we were trying to get a workout, you know.
But we
But
did
we-
that.
We
but
weren't
were in
trying
one-
to do that.
We were in one of the channels, is that what you call it? Of
Yeah.
Powell Lake. I don't think it's called channels, but
Canyon?
Yeah, because that was the canyon that, Antelope Canyon, which was
Right,
the same
yeah.
one as we had that.
Going with the boat.
that was fun. That was
It
a
was,
lot.
it was hard.
It was hard.
Hard, hard.
That was hard.
Well, and they didn't tell us it was 6 miles until we were done.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it seemed like they were in a hurry for the next group.
yeah.
And they were there.
The next group was there.
So,
We
And
did
then,
And
so then that's when we drove.
we did the dam
We did the Glen Canyon.
itself.
Well,
Mostly
we
drive
got out to look at it. We couldn't do the tour or anything.
No, but we
With
did the
that-
visitor center and
Yeah.
talked to the
And-
park rangers.
Me working for the state for 35 years, I was just fascinated with all the concrete that went into the dam.
Still curing.
The huge bridge that
Yeah.
crossed the canyon, and how, you know, it's, when they talk about the cables and the rock bolts and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I've tested that stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's amazing for me to think about
You look at it. different
the
perspective.
work, you know, because in Kansas, you don't see huge bridges that's carved into rock, you know.
Yeah.
So that was pretty amazing for me to see and think back a little bit of what I did in my work line and how it pertained to what they did.
Yeah.
And, you know, you talk about the 3-inch rebar, and I tested that,
Yeah.
you know. It makes a loud noise when it breaks.
Huh.
So, yeah, I really enjoyed that, seeing that, being a part of that.
And
Yeah.
then we went,
We drove to the Grand Canyon finally.
saw a lot of wildlife.
Yeah.
A lot of elk.
Elk Jam.
We all called it elk, somebody else called
One.
it
Only once. But
But
there's a lot of them, they were pretty cool.
All right, guys, what's going on?
and that was my
We got
first
an
time
elk
seeing the
jam.
Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
From the
And-
watchtower?
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
the
That was the
watchtower
first-
that
when we
first
came
time.
in.
That's right.
And Becky was excited to see the look on
Where
my
are we?
face, so she kind of went in front of me so I could
That's
see.
right.
I hope I didn't disappoint her, because it was like, oh my goodness.
You knew it was big. You've seen pictures, but
You just don't realize it
Yeah.
until you see it in
Yeah.
person, and it's just, wow, it was awesome. I'm glad I got to be a part of this group, to be my first time. It was fun.
And we stayed in,
Grand Canyon Plaza Hotel,
there we go.
which was only 15 minutes from the
The
Grand
visitors.
Canyon, so that was pretty good.
In a town we can't pronounce.
Tusini? Tusini.
Tusayan?
Tusinian.
See,
Just
we
saying.
can't pronounce.
Just saying,
To say
just saying,
Just
just saying, just saying, just saying.
We asked
Okay,
to
good
get this thing.
That
You
worked.
thought
There
I
was a
was,
trouble.
you thought
You were
I was-
saying it, I'm like, I remember it.
What is she doing?
We asked the
Whatever.
waitress at the restaurant, the chicken place.
Chicken
Yeah.
kitchen.
I was ate at the chicken kitchen.
Got too much potatoes.
She kept just bringing us food that we didn't order. That's happened on
She's
YouTube.
already
Like, do
cheese.
they? Happened at the Mexican restaurant. They like,
Oh,
like Janice,
Yeah, that was-
your food's ready. And
That's
then
fine,
bring it back,
okay.
it's like not yours at all.
Janice got a few orders.
Yeah.
I got extra burrito and french fries for sure.
Is there the Janice here? There's one guy sitting in the corner. He's not Janice. Yeah.
So,
and our room, we shared a room with
Yeah.
Mary, and it was not a good night.
oh,
Not because of Mary.
No, that wasn't the room. It was just the darn
Furnace.
furnace.
How did that go?
Okay.
And I don't know how many times it came on, and finally, I remember about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was afraid I'd wake people up after I said it, was, are you kidding me?
I did not hear you.
Apparently no one heard me, thank goodness.
They're all exhausted.
yeah.
So Becky,
That's
what
great.
was the next day, Becky?
Okay, so we did some more Grand Canyon walking, and we took a look at the trailhead to the Bright Angel. We saw condors.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
I don't think that was possibly.
Binoculars. Those were definitely condors.
They had them white under their wings, like.
But then, so I don't know where I found it. Some research on this Shoshone Point, and it's not on the map. There's no signs for it, but that's where we had our lunch, our picnic lunch.
Picnic.
So it was kind of muddy, but when we got to that spot, there was only 3 other groups out there. That was pretty.
And I think of all the places we've been this trip, I think that was my favorite.
Oh, yeah?
Pretty cool.
Yeah. It was off the beaten path.
that question.
No,
So
no,
can
no.
can share whatever.
And
Get it
I mean,
together.
it was just, the trail was muddy, but we
Made it happen.
Yeah.
did some
Long pine needles.
trailblazing, and we saw some more elk and a lot of friendly people.
Yeah.
That was on it. And so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
It was really nice to see the Grand Canyon.
It's on our bucket list.
It's on my bucket list.
And that was a good place
Check.
to get a good view of it.
That was.
Oh, that
great.
was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Not where you guys were, but where the rest of us were was good.
Well,
We didn't go
it's-
out on the point.
It was a nice surprise type of thing because none of us really knew what to expect, and it was awesome.
And then
So then we continued south as we have been, and we stopped at Sunset Crater and Wupatki National Monument, which Wupatki was kind of lame, but the view was pretty. It was a very different landscape all of a sudden. But
Lava Rock.
the lava rock at Sunset Crater was, that was weird.
we were unexpected.
Yeah.
What to expect, but
There's
that
all
was,
this black rock, it looked like torn up asphalt.
Yeah.
That was neat.
it was.
It was overcast
I
because
know,
they say it's
yeah.
very beautiful at sunset, but
But
Yeah.
it was,
we've had a good trip so far,
we
so.
had a good sunset at
Yeah.
this too.
It's still pretty neat,
Yeah.
cloudy or not.
So we continued on instead, and that's when we arrived at Flagstaff that night. So
Great Airbnb at Flagstaff.
that was the best
Yes.
one.
Yes,
And it snowed.
and it snowed, and it snowed.
Both nights we were there.
It was very pretty.
Yeah, because we woke up to some snow that next day. It was pretty
Both days we did.
But it was kind of a dreary day, snowy, rainy.
right.
This was the whole trip. I think was cooler than most of the.
They
it
had,
should have been.
yeah, the
Yeah.
whole state was below average, for sure, and above average on precipitation. So,
And the night before, we went to a Thai restaurant
oh, that's right.
when we got to
Yeah,
Flagstaff.
yeah.
We went and ate Thai, which was very good. No complaints.
Good. Got class noodles.
Glass noodles. Tried something new.
Yeah.
The next day we did Walnut Creek.
Walnut Canyon.
Walnut Canyon.
You gotta get there. So visitor center opens up like at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
No, that's a different.
That's
place.
Oak Creek.
Okay.
That's a-
Oh, okay.
This was the ruins in the canyon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
with
yeah.
all the stairs.
Walnut Canyon.
Walnut, yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty.
Mhm.
The green on the rock and the cliff dwellings that you could walk along. I enjoyed that. That was pretty.
Yeah, we walked the little island to be in. Mom did the hard part of the walk, but didn't do the easy part.
That's because we'd already done the top ring.
Yeah. They did more walking than we did that
You
day.
did.
Probably.
You
Yeah.
did.
We'll
Okay.
take it. We'll take it.
Well,
Maybe
And
say so.
I was pretty disappointed in myself wanting to stay back, but it was good for me and
Yeah.
probably good for everybody else. But I just had a down day.
Snow
It was
day.
snow
Did a
day.
snow day.
I had a snow day, so
And then we went shopping.
you guys went shopping.
Right.
Went to the Low Observatory.
Yeah, we packed it up pretty quick out of there.
It was
Yeah.
kind of pricey.
It was very cloudy.
Pricey for a cloudy
And
day.
I thought maybe we'd be. I called them. I said, "Is there anything to do on a cloudy day?" And then, yeah, we have some presentations we give, and that sort of thing. But the telescopes are closed. They didn't mention that it was $18 to come in and listen to a presentation. So we kind of petered around in the gift
We
shop.
went to the gift shop
And we kind of snuck in and saw the big outside dome, but
From the
from
outside.
quite a ways away. Didn't really matter, it's cloudy. So,
Yeah.
but then we went to a few shops.
Yeah.
Sprinkled, but that was fun.
And
brought back candies and
of course,
2 places I bought stuff, candy in the bakery.
all edible, all edible.
That was good.
It was
kinda
good. I
fun.
had snickerdoodles, thank you.
Yeah, that's
They were good.
good
Finally.
Yeah.
So that was,
That was
So set the alarms early
Tuesday.
because we're getting up and going.
Yeah, we got up early
Because the
To
visitor center
drive.
opens.
to Phoenix, but on the way we were gonna get to Oak Creek Canyon.
Oh, Creek Canyon!
Sedona
They open
was
at
pretty-
8
This is
o'clock.
gonna be great. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Opens up at 8, so we calculated how long it's to drive there. We want to get there. Open those doors. We'll be the first ones in line. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh man, get there. It's like 8 o'clock on the dot. Becky just marches up to the door. Opens at 8 o'clock in the morning in April.
April 1st.
April 1st.
And we're looking like, what is there to do? Because we drove kind of there's nowhere to go. Like, we're in the canyon.
There was
The
no
road was to the canyon, but there was no,
viewpoint.
like, big thing.
There were all private houses and we
Private.
tried to go look at it.
private property.
Private property,
Yeah. The bridge and the overlook there was pretty.
Yeah,
That
so-
was
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, we asked somebody at the store.
Yeah, we had to ask someone at a cafe because they didn't have that on the plaque map thing in the visitor center,
Yeah.
in front of the visitor center.
But the bridge was cool. And the
The bridge
canyon from
was
that
all
point of view was very nice.
And then that led us into Sedona, which Sedona seems like a really neat place.
yes.
If we had more time, had more time, we could have done some neat things in there, I think.
But we were hurrying because
But
we
we were
had a
in a
ball
hurry.
game.
That's right, I had to get to the ball game.
Yeah. The ball game.
But that worked out because we were able to drop you guys off with Julie.
Well, we made another stop.
Montezuma.
Oh, yeah.
Montezuma.
Montezuma
Castle.
Castle, which is in a castle and has nothing to do with Montezuma.
That's
Way to ruin that surprise. It's cool. 800 years old. Ish.
Yeah,
And it was so we saw some cliff dwelling structures in Walnut Canyon, but this is bigger. Like most of the cool with those were
and
the
there was
single
more
room
left.
things.
of
Yeah,
that.
and it was more.
And you could still see the palm prints of how they made the walls.
Mm-hmm.
And the creek was flooding. It was going crazy fast. And if you look, like 10 feet above where we were standing, there was signs that it flooded even
Yeah.
that high.
Yeah.
It almost
High.
probably got to the visitor center. It was crazy.
Close.
So that was kind of neat to see.
And that was a quick stop too. That was
And at most of these places, Becky and JB got their national park stamp
That one was a monument, but it had a stamp.
yeah.
and their penny smashed at several places.
Destroying
Mhm.
pennies.
Mhm.
Take that, Abe Lincoln.
So then we drove on down to Phoenix and we met our friend Julie, who took Janice and I to see a Royals game in spring training, which was pretty good in itself.
And you guys did.
Desert Botanical Garden, and that was really neat.
Hold
The Desert Botanical Garden. I enjoyed that
That was cool.
very much.
I like that a lot.
We also went to lunch at the fort. At
The yard.
The yard.
The yard. It was
The
on
four
all
yard
the lists.
or yard?
Nothing with four.
There's 4 restaurants in the yard,
Oh, okay.
and
We didn't know that.
we went
We
to the
went to
culinary
one.
dropout.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that was good.
And we split a pork tender sandwich and fries from a food truck from Kansas City that
Oh,
always goes
that's
to the
funny.
regular Royals games. So
Really?
Wow.
there was
Got a couple of them.
two trucks that show up at spring training every
Hmm.
year.
That's cool.
And
So we used
I
those.
had a chance to go get Willie Wilson's autograph, which if my dad was still here, would have been a must.
Huh.
But
You didn't do it?
I didn't do it. And I didn't know, I knew the other two, but, you know, if you go through the line, you have to talk to all of them.
Oh, you
and I
didn't want
didn't
to talk to all of
Yeah, but I was really very hesitant. Several times I walked over by there.
Oh.
And for a $5 baseball, which baseballs don't cost that much, but you could get their autographs.
Oh, I see.
But it was pretty cool seeing Willie Wilson.
Yeah, cool.
Back in the 80s that he played for the Royals. In fact, when I just started getting into watching
Oh.
baseball with my dad, so he was one of the star players.
Wow, that's a surprise.
So yeah, that was fun. It was a good day. And we went out to eat with Julie and
Got delivered back here.
brought back here. Delivered before our curfew at 9.
Yeah.
You came back relatively sober. So what was your guys' favorite part of the botanical garden?
Hummingbird.
Oh, I think
Oh, and
butterflies.
releasing the butterflies.
We released butterflies that were shipped in.
And they were in
They
a
were
little
overnighted.
envelope.
Uh-huh.
I've had
From
that in
Texas. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It wasn't the plants at all?
Well,
The
I
plants
love
were
seeing
good.
the plants.
Yeah, the plants were really good.
What was your part, Byron?
Probably the plants. Didn't let a bug out of an envelope. It wasn't that big a deal.
I loved that.
How
She
much money did
spotted,
I-
she spotted the hummingbirds, which was really, because we were looking and we're like, oh, I don't see them. This is not around.
And no one was looking desperately. It was the hummingbird area part. It was so exciting.
So how much did it cost you to release their butterflies?
Nothing.
Oh,
Well, we did.
Just the admission price.
they are fun.
So
It
But-
just cost wonderful joy. That's all.
There
they
you
had
go.
a lot of really cool cactuses,
Yeah, they
a
did.
good variety, cacti, and succulenti.
No, we learned all cacti are succulents, but not all succulents are cacti.
That's true.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
There you go.
So then the succulent garden was some really big ones.
And we saw one that was worth how much?
$45,000.
What was
If
it?
you would buy
a
it.
succulent.
A succulent?
It was like a little tree. I mean, it wouldn't fit in one store. It wouldn't fit. It was too tall for this room. I mean, too
Yeah.
short.
They had it, yeah.
His trunk was.
Not that one was for sale, but
Right.
one like it would
Right.
cost that.
Well, we could have bought, or got quite a few today.
You traded the minivan and got a
Just been
smaller one.
against the law.
Do you think they would notice if we had it tied on to the top of the thing?
Yeah, right.
Put it in the overhead compartment.
There you go.
But the botanical garden was worth it. That was cool.
Yeah, that was a good one, good trip.
Yeah. What was it for the day?
We had
Yesterday,
for
that
dinner
was
on this the botanical garden crew
Yeah.
went to
Oh,
In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah, in and out.
So burgers are good. Could take or leave the fries.
Does it
Yeah,
have
the
fries?
fries. That's right. So then we have today, which we went to Saguaro National Park. What did you guys think of that?
It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was about an hour and 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Gloria drove
Driver,
the whole way
all
to
day.
and from. Yeah, this was a really cool Saguaro.
And we hiked up on the hill where they had the blooming flowers, and you guys went a little higher. Saw a few more, but it was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have enjoyed it more, but I'm petrified of snakes.
Yeah,
And
they
they-
told you
they-
about the snakes.
Yeah, they'd seen rattlesnakes, and I'm just
Yeah.
going where I can. Well,
It all worked out.
I was worried.
Yeah.
You know.
But you got to see them nonetheless.
Oh,
You
sure.
got to see some,
Yeah.
a lot of
And we
different
had a
cacti.
Oh,
picnic,
yeah.
picnic in the national park.
Yeah.
A cool place.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful scenery
Yeah.
again.
Mm-hmm.
Saw some petroglyphs.
Petroglyphs.
Amazing.
A little bit lame.
Is that when you went up the little hill?
Yeah.
Okay.
The mound.
The mound.
So that brings us to what do you think your favorite thing was for the whole trip?
I think you already told us yours, didn't you?
I think my favorite one was the hike at Grand Canyon and where we had lunch. It was just,
That's a good one.
it was, I think it was more of a surprising, you know.
Yeah, if you're not expecting it, and it's
Right.
even harder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, everything else that was, you know, I love the Grand Canyon. I think I could spend days there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just everywhere you look, it's just
Different.
different.
It's still shocking each time you look at it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so,
What was your question? The
Favorite.
so did that surprise you? My favorite then?
I didn't know what because
I
I knew
was
it was
thinking-
Antelope Canyon.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought it
yeah.
would be. How about you, Mary? What was your favorite?
Antelope Canyon. I've never been in anything like that
That
before.
was pretty amazing.
I've gone in caves and
Yeah.
I've seen other canyons, but I've never gone underground and not been in a cave. You're just in an area
Yeah.
that's so beautiful.
I agree. I think that was
It's
probably my
very-
favorite thing too.
Yeah. And I believed every word Tony said.
And she should not have.
So what, he told some stories about getting hit by some kind
A
of scorpion.
being airlifted out. I mean, it's just,
I never heard him telling
Oh,
that.
yeah. She was sucking it up.
Sometimes snakes fall down in there and they usually hide back in there.
Oh!
Yeah.
How about you guys? What was your favorite?
I think the hike up Angel's Landing
yeah.
was cool. We'd like to stay at the top a little longer, but we forgot food. Not
Oh,
lunch,
that's right.
any food. So
You
Yeah.
came down hungry.
I took off. I mean, I wanted to enjoy it, but I was very hungry.
I spent an extra 2 minutes at the top.
I just, Byron's not going to keep up too bad, and I headed out.
It was just the whole thing was fun because we started getting up there with the chains and stuff, and then like the snow hit, the little kind of hail, and it made it a little more exciting. And then when
It
we
was
got
pretty.
there, it's a really nice view. Yeah,
With the snow too.
Yeah.
Down.
Yeah.
Well, now describe the chains. You're just glossing over that. That's just that's pretty.
yeah. Well, parts where it's really too hard just to climb, they put a chain that you can hold on to. So
Parts
you
where-
Because it's
Big.
down.
This
Yeah.
isn't just a little wimpy chain.
Yeah.
This
No,
is
you're
a-
holding on to it.
Yeah.
And it's tied down really, really well. I
Yeah.
mean, in the
Because you
rock.
have to be able to hang on to it.
Well, because the next view is a cliff, and then the other way is also a cliff.
Yeah, because it's like this or like this, and that's what you're going on. So you
Yeah.
have to have the chain.
Yeah,
And there were parts where, for some reason, there was no chain.
yeah. Angel's Landing was kind of like mountain, kind of, and then you get to it, and it's like it ends kind of like this, and you hike up a little ridge, and then it's at the top.
Yeah.
And so it was really fun to hike that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was probably my.
Not a normal hike you do.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't super long, but it was hard. And it was cool weather.
It was harder because somebody was hungry.
I was hungry. He kept saying, "We'll just eat when we get to the top." Okay, I can make it that long, but I don't know if I can make it any farther.
And when you got to the top,
And yeah, it was ready. All these people were eating snacks around us.
like 2 other people. That was all at the top. That was kind of. It was
And they
just us,
wouldn't
or the-
share.
We didn't ask.
I just took off.
I gave her
Food.
my mint, and she ate that.
I wasn't as grateful as I should have been, but
well, and you thought you'd pack stuff because you did take
Yeah.
the backpack.
yes,
Oh sure.
and I did pack stuff. But JB and Byron said, "Let's just eat together." Okay, and I took it out, and I didn't mean to take it all out, so that was my fault. But I blamed Byron and JB. for it.
So
Broad shoulders, we can handle it.
so another thing about the hike, like I had a ball cap, a full hat, sunglasses, a coat, and a short. Like and I wore everything, like one by one. Okay, need my sunglasses, put those away. Put my stocking cap on. Put that away, it's getting hot. Put my coat on, it's getting cold. The blizzard is coming in. Like we went through all the things we brought in that 2
Except
hours
the
that we
food.
were hiking. Yeah, except
Well,
the
you
food.
didn't bring the food.
Because we didn't bring it.
But it sure tasted good down at the visitor center.
Yeah.
So that was probably mine. How about yours?
Man, I'm not sure. I think maybe my favorite thing was because I knew what we were going to do because I did a lot of planning, but was getting you guys to see things like I don't think you had heard of Antelope Canyon before this, and so for you guys, I think didn't know what to expect, and I mean it was obvious everybody loved it, but getting you all to enjoy it, I think maybe was my favorite part of it.
Oh, well, that's sweet.
So
Well, we did.
Yes,
You
you
liked
did.
it. Maybe we did have fun.
And we came.
what about, and this maybe I don't want to dwell on the negative, but anything you thought was kind of lame or disappointing because I have one.
Oh,
Sorry.
Mine is the kayak tour. I've been on a lot of kayak tours, but that was lame.
no, and I haven't, and so it was fine.
It was just so long for no reason.
It was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work and not much rest.
I mean, I liked the view and the scenery, but we didn't have to go 6 miles, and I was tired. I was doing my best to keep up, and so all it was like I had to focus on doing that instead of enjoying the scenery. And so I think if we had gone 3 or 4 miles instead of the 6 and gotten to look around, like I couldn't look around. As soon as I took my paddle out to do this, I was spinning around, and so I couldn't do any enjoying, I think. So
The one cool thing about that kayak thing is the water was at 33% capacity, so it was very low, which made
Yeah.
the canyon walls very high.
Made it higher.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. He said you just when the water's full and it's really not that pretty.
I think it's not that I didn't enjoy it at all, but it was too long.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that was my thing. I didn't think was that.
yeah.
Anybody else?
I think Oak Creek Canyon was
Yeah.
the disappointing thing, because you drove basically through it, and there wasn't anywhere to stop or anything.
Or
so-
not even to really see much.
Yeah.
They wanted a stamp and they didn't get a stamp.
It's
And
also
we didn't get a stamp, double win.
not till April. Waiting that
But it was
Same-
pretty
same
go
weather.
driving in the snow, that was pretty.
Yeah, that was.
But there wasn't anywhere to stop and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Especially for Byron who was driving it.
Yeah.
That was probably the thing I was disappointed in.
Yeah.
Because they made a big deal about it, and there's nothing to really do.
We got pretty lucky with the weather. A week before we left, Becky was looking at the weather. Like, this is not gonna go well.
It was all for sure gonna rain everywhere. It was like a rain cloud was gonna follow us. So that didn't end up.
We got
being the
some
case.
rain and we got some snow, but nothing was a disaster because of it.
The only day that it really deterred our plans was Flagstaff. We did maybe quite as much as we might have.
Yeah, yeah. There were some things we weren't able to do. You're right.
But I'm glad we didn't waste time driving down to Oak Creek
Yeah.
the day before.
Anybody else?
So what were
Most
some of the other
disappointing?
questions you wanted to
Okay.
throw in?
Biggest surprise.
Biggest surprise.
What was yours?
I don't have. Okay. I don't have one.
I thought maybe your surprise would be how hard the race was, but maybe you knew how hard it
I
was.
knew it was gonna be hard. I didn't know exactly. I expected it to.
Well, and we looked at the graph of your route,
Yeah.
and we saw that first hill, but I had no idea it was like this.
Yeah.
Climbing over a rock, a big rock. and-
Yeah. Well, and then you prepared me for a downhill the last mile, and that did not happen. There was more steep sand. I guess that's a surprise.
Mm,
Well, you did get to go down the hill, but then it was sand again.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that was surprising how much sand there was. I didn't know that much.
I think the surprise was in the Valley of Fire with the sunset. It literally looked like fire, like big, yellow with these cool rain through it, and then the double rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I mean, how was that not a surprise?
that
We didn't
was-
expect that at all.
That was
Well,
our first 5 o'clock surprise.
Yeah,
And
it's a fact about
at
it.
one point, it looked like 2 more coming on.
Yeah.
And
It was almost.
4 of them. That was
neat.
cool.
Any surprises?
I don't have any.
Yeah,
Well,
Kenny was surprised.
I think my surprise was how easy Byron made it at the airport. Piece of cake.
We
I
just
get
cut
credit for
through
that.
lines, didn't we?
Oh, we just sailed through all the other things that could go wrong. We didn't have anything go wrong.
We got to use our phones for our
Boarding
boarding
pass,
passes.
yeah. Didn't even have to take off my
We got somehow
slip-on shoes.
Yeah.
pre-check TSA. We have that in tomorrow. I don't know how I got
Yeah.
it, but it happened.
We'll see
I'm
if
taking
it's
credit
a-
for it.
We'll take
Okay.
it. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was a nice surprise.
I guess maybe I was surprised with how pretty the desert was gonna be.
Yeah.
You mentioned that, and I
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to. I knew it was gonna be neat cactus, but I didn't think. That was just really pretty. Today and yesterday at the botanical gardens, it was gorgeous.
Who would have thought cactus would be pretty?
Yeah.
But it was just beautiful.
And there's hills around too. It's
Yeah.
not just Death Valley or whatever, but
Right.
there's hills in the background and cacti on all the hills. And
Well,
Best,
another surprise for me was standing outside the visitor center in Sedona, reading all the plaques of the different movies that were made there, the different
Oh.
westerns, you know, and some of the actors I knew that was, a lot of John Wayne movies was, which I'm a big John Wayne fan. And, the Death Valley Days narrator born and lived there, and directed a lot of those shows, and so that was,
I didn't hear that.
I probably could have spent more time in Sedona.
Yeah,
It
I
was,
think we all could.
that would have been a neat place.
We were in a hurry.
yeah, we kind of messed that up, because I thought it was 3 o'clock a.m.
Yeah, I did too.
Well, it originally said that, that's why.
Now, Tony said,
That's all,
I
not really.
believed him, because when we got up out of Antelope Canyon, he said that Jurassic Park was filmed. Is that true?
No, maybe parts of it, but just parts of it is filmed in a jungle.
No, okay, maybe I'm remembering the wrong movie. But he said that they had filmed
Movies there.
some movie there.
In Sedona?
No,
Antelope
in
Canyon.
Antelope Canyon.
Yeah, I believe it. I can Google that.
I'll look it up. I'm hesitant to believe Tony.
No,
Yeah.
I believe him.
Well, they could
the
film
core.
movies there, yeah.
Yeah.
Surprising? Big surprise?
I thought I had one. Oh, the sunset and the rainbow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
How about this? Best interaction with somebody not one of us 5, and you may not think of anything, but we got asked if we were a group of 9.
That's my favorite.
Right? Or
Not
something?
we, the 3 of us were coming out of a walk, and she said her greeting was, "Are you nuns?" No. Oh, I am. Oh, okay.
Let it be known, Gloria and I kept walking, and Mary went and talked to her.
And what was the question we're answering?
A fun interaction with somebody that you just met.
Funniest moment, maybe.
Oh.
Thing to say.
That's it.
Even if it's an interaction.
It wasn't funny, but when we got to that one point and I knew I couldn't go any higher today because of the trail, and I'm petrified of snakes. I don't care if it's this long or however long, but I turned around and started walking back by myself, and it was just, my mind was going 90 miles an hour about, oh, I don't want to see a snake, I don't want to see a snake, and I was, okay, let's focus on the cactus that's got Mickey Mouse heads, and, you know, think about that, and I said, Dad, please don't let me see a snake, Dad, please, Lord, please keep me safe. And about that time, this really nice lady asked me, how much further? And I said, well, you haven't got to the 0.7 mark yet, and then you go to a 1 mile mark, and then it starts going up. And she says, oh, told her friend that she was there with, she says, I'm gonna turn around. So the Lord answered my prayers and sent me down with a hiking buddy. And I mean, it was just, I was totally different just having somebody there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hiking through the
so,
desert alone is a little different.
well, yeah, and so, and I've always been scared of snakes, to the point where if I see one little bitty one, I think I'm gonna have a heart attack because my anxiety level goes so high.
Mm.
And so when I saw the sign that says snakes spotted today already, you know, but I wanted to do the hike. I didn't want to sit in the van and but keep close. But
I want to go back to the lane thing.
Oh, yeah.
That hike we took, it was supposed to have everything labeled. It did not have a thing labeled. It had plenty of signs, but nothing that told you what cacti was what.
That's true.
That was a little disappointing.
But you gotta understand, if Becky would have bought the $8 pamphlet,
I know, we wouldn't know.
That's true. You should have bought it.
But the information might be on his deck of cards.
that's true.
That's right.
We're hoping.
Let's
So
open
it's
it up.
Byron's fault for not opening it?
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
Well, good.
We had a good time.
It was a
It
good
is.
trip overall. I don't think we had anything bad happen to it.
No, the weather worked out better than it said.
Yeah. We get to see a lot of things.
We
3
saw a
national
lot of
parks, a lot
things.
of monuments.
At least three.
Do we ever figure out how many miles we drove?
No.
Ooh.
I'd like to know that. That'd be
3
kind-
states. Well, we can look at the odometer, remind me
Yeah.
tomorrow.
We've been bad about, hey, remind me to do this when we get to this point, and then the person who asked to be reminded is the only one that will remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or take my medicine. Nobody remembers.
yeah,
Anyway.
that's true.
Remind me when we get to the bottom of the trail, I want to take some Tylenol.
Zion, Grand Canyon, Saguaro. Is that the only 3?
National parks.
Yeah, it feels like
We saw a lot though.
we saw
Yeah.
a lot of
But those are
things.
We
really.
saw a lot of national monuments, but they weren't
Yeah.
national parks
That's
too. And state parks, because Valley Fire was a state park. Wasn't it?
Yeah, good trip so far. We got,
Yeah.
get the car to the rental place tomorrow morning, and we got a flight. We'll be back in Wichita by mid-afternoon.
That's right.
So, I really enjoyed this trip. I'm glad I came.
Thanks
I'm
for
glad you
planning.
came too.
I struggled, but thank you. Thank you. It was,
Thanks for keeping Byron in line, because he got out of line a couple times.
I don't remember that.
Once
pictures
got
you shouldn't
out
be
of line
taking.
on the hike, trying to film and do this on a steep. What are you doing? So that time he got out. Other than that, he was alright.
the most funniest part about this trip,
Here we
not turning off the beeper sensor.
Till one day's left.
And Byron, about the 3rd day, said, well, that's just an email I'm getting. It's not
Or
an
a text.
email.
That's getting a lot of emails.
You're getting a lot of emails and texts.
So it turns out this stupid van, anytime your car gets a little bit near the edge, it goes beep beep, and it was set on max sensitivity.
Yeah.
And I was able, while I was sitting in the park in the drive-through of Dairy Queen, I just told around it, turned it to low sensitivity, then turned it to off, and it never be one to Gloria. Maybe it was off, maybe it was on.
I think it was on when I was driving because the cruise control didn't want to work. So,
Oh, hopefully you didn't turn that off too.
Oh yeah.
so
Yeah. Good times having for everybody.
Absolutely.
All right.
Good trip.
good trip.
Trip.
Give yourself a hand.